Episode 10.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Don't Quit Your Day Job podcast with Mike, Keith, and Adam.
Hello.
Today we have a very special guest. We have a style expert from Styled Sharp, and her name is Tavia. Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, glad to be here. I'm Tavia, and I am a style and image expert and a personal branding strategist, and I work with people, regular, everyday people, and help them create a impactful image, both online and in person, helping them be more visible and seen, especially in the social media world. I actually have a fashion background. I was a fashion designer for 15 years, and I did style and dress a couple celebrities. Some in music, some in film, influencers. So now I work with everyday people, and I help style them to look and feel their best.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yes.
All right.
Now, since this is a mainly entertainment podcast, we're going to talk about possibly movies, music, television, and how fashion influenced all of these things, and how like certain celebrities are influencers with fashion, whether it's a brand or a product or both. Or how fashion in the movie and TV and music industry has shaped all of that. So, guys, do you have anything to ask our special guest today?
I wore my rock shirt for you. No. What is it that people? Why do they look at these celebrities like they're like they're wearing it, so I have to get it? What? It's so. Is it subliminal? Is it? What is it? What like the infatuation? This whole infatuation with the Kardashians. That's the best example I could use. I mean, I feel like they don't bring anything to the table, but for some reason, they're a name.
Yeah, they're an influencer.
They're an influencer.
I think over the years and years of film, music, they've always been influencers. It's just that it's different now that we have social media, right? It's become, larger in that sense because these celebrities are using it to enhance their own brands, right? And people want to look and feel like their favorite celebrity. That is the truth. You see somebody and you're like, wow, I want to look like them. They set trends, and it's just a part of human nature. We've always been like that. It's an evolution of what's always been there.
I think because we have more social media around us, so it's thrown at us more.
Yeah.
So 40 years ago, 50 years ago, when you had just television and right, obviously radio, you just heard stuff, so you couldn't see anything. So you either went to the movies and saw films, or you watched something on television. That was your only thing. And of course, seeing a magazine for an ad where a celebrity is promoting a type of clothing line.
Yep.
That's basically that's what it is.
Yeah, there's always been influencers. That's always been around, right? But now it's become more prevalent because of social media. Image is everywhere. We see it. It's constantly in our face. Instagram, Facebook, all these TikTok, of course, all these platforms. Then it's just enhancing that influencer mentality, right?
And we could go all the way back to a guy like Gable. Like, he didn't want to wear a t-shirt. It was like a really big deal. And it was like, and what happened with that? I mean...
Yeah, it was in a movie, and I believe it won the Academy Award, right, Keith?
Yes, it happened one night. Yeah, it swept the Oscars that year. Right.
It was in the 1930s, and at that time it was very normal for men to wear an undershirt. That's just part of what men wore, and so he chose in that movie not to wear the undershirt, and he was bare-chested. And then it's rumored to be that after that the sales of undershirts went down because they said, well, if Gable doesn't wear it, we don't have to wear it, right? And then that sets a new trend.
Right. Also, like your breakfast at Tiffany's, the dress.
Yes.
Audrey Hepburn, she wore that dress, and everybody wanted that dress.
That
right?
dress is so
and the
iconic.
Jewelry and everything.
The jewelry, the diamond necklace. I picture it right now. Her hair up in a bun. It's like, it sets an image.
Iconic.
It's iconic, and we could talk a lot about music and everything. That there's so many iconic moments.
James Bond, right?
James
James
Bond,
Bond.
but yeah, well, I mean, there's a whole thing about Bond, but you were talking about movies with her dress, and you got like my favorite movie of all time, Saturday Night Fever, Travolta wearing the white suit. When that
Yes.
disco craze was going on, every guy out there wanted to get
That's
a white
right.
suit
Yes.
to go to the disco because they wanted to look like Travolta
Right.
and pull it off with the white suit and the black shirt,
Yep.
and the three-piece, and pull it off. So, yeah, I mean, the influencer on the highest level.
Yeah, if
But-
we talk about music, I think of like, 'cause, just saw the movie Air, and I think about how they were talking about, at that time, sneakers were really popular with hip hop, and Run DMC were wearing Adidas, and so then everybody wanted to wear Adidas because it was the cool thing, and so they influenced that fashion.
with the thick shoelaces.
Of course.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It was the style, the Kangol hats,
the jewelry,
LL
even.
Cool J with the Kangol hat.
and
Right.
and the chains, the thick chains
Yep.
that came out.
Even musicians, like Frank Sinatra, his iconic look.
The hat.
Never heard of
fedora
it.
But
hats.
see, a lot of these people, they're not doing it at the time to start any trend. Like Sinatra's the best example because I'm a big Sinatra fan, as we all know. Sinatra wore a fedora because he was having a receding hairline. So he only did that to kind of break away from people seeing the receding hairline. So, but that became such a staple of Sinatra's look.
Pal Joey.
Yeah, it's
a
a Pal
good
Joey
example.
look. But I'm saying, but that look of Sinatra, nobody else wore a fedora better than Sinatra.
Yeah.
That was his look.
Yeah, and I mean it's also like certain kind of celebrities, red carpet moments can make or break who they are, right? As they become famous, especially up and coming actors and actresses, their look, their image is so important. They hire celebrity stylists to dress them. They partner with designers to dress them for these red carpet moments because it can literally make their career. These are, thousands of pictures are taken. They're all over social media, and so it's really important for them to dress the part.
I was going to say that you talked about the red carpet. Now we all know, and even herself, she was a fashion icon. Joan Rivers, she started to wear all these gowns and outfits when she went to the Johnny Carson show, and people noticed like she was into fashion. And later on, we all know her and her daughter
Yep.
would make comments on the red carpet.
Yeah.
What were you wearing? That's a thing now.
It's such a thing now. They started that.
Yeah.
And then she had the fashion police on
Fashion
E.
Police was hysterical.
And it was funny,
Yeah.
but it really, you're right. They started that. Who are you wearing? And now it's like you get asked. Every celebrity gets asked that question when they're walking the red carpet. It's
and
just
if you're
normal.
a designer, you want that. You want
You
your
want
name-
that red
you want,
carpet
you want that
moment.
red carpet
It seems like
moment.
it used to be mainly focused around the Oscars, like when the whole thing is who you're wearing. As far as connecting to the public the most before social media, I think because you had that, you had that pre-Oscar show, and you would always, go up to the woman saying, "I'm wearing this one, I'm wearing that one, and who's the jewelry by, and all that, and of course, most of the women out there could wear this jewelry, or afford to wear these designer outfits, these designer dresses, designer gowns, or whatever. But I guess they were able to make knockoffs and try to put something together that's pretty close to it.
Yeah, so like the celebrities usually partner with the designer in the first place. So it's not like they're actually buying it. They're partnering with the designer because the designer is saying, hey, you're going to wear our dress or jewelry or what handbag, and you're getting our name out there. So it's a partnership, right? And then, to your point, once they see these dresses on the red carpet, a lot of these fashion houses, production companies can just knock them off really quickly. And now all of a sudden they make them for these cheaper prices, and they happen really fast, actually, right after these award ceremonies. And now all the people who want that dress can buy it.
The knockoff,
yeah.
right?
So it starts a trend.
And we were mentioning about women and stuff. Men now, especially at the Oscars and all these things, the men are being asked because the men's fashion, especially with the different styles of tuxedos and formal wear, has just gone to a whole nother level.
A whole nother level.
level.
I mean, let's talk about Daniel Craig when he had a red carpet moment. He wore a pink velvet double-breasted jacket. I don't know if you remember that,
Yep.
but it was
I don't
very
remember that.
bold.
I do. And-
Very bold. It was
Right.
for one of the Bond
It was for the
premieres.
the new one,
newer
the
one.
last one.
Yeah, and he looked amazing.
And that was like, you looked at that and at first you're like, wow, not a lot of people can pull that off, but Daniel Craig can pull it off.
He pulled it off. And, it's that signature moment that sticks with you. Just like, Lady Gaga. We all know she wore the meat dress to the MTV Music Awards. Now, she did that for a reason. She wanted to cause a stir.
That's right.
She had intention. She knew it was going to create buzz. It was going to get her attention. Maybe some people thought, oh, what the heck she's thinking? But we all remember it.
When she wore that dress,
Yeah.
I was like so hungry. I was like craving steak. I'm like, I gotta go out and buy some A1 steak sauce now.
But see, the thing is, there wouldn't be any, like, there's no Lady Gaga if you didn't have a Madonna.
That's
And
right.
then if you didn't have a Madonna,
Cher.
you had Cher. Cher was really, for me growing up, I remember
Bob
watching
Mackie.
the Bob Mackie dresses on her, when she had her own show.
Yes.
Or her stage performance was all Bob Mackie. And he came up with those elaborate
Yes.
designs. And then when she came one year to the Oscars, she wore one outfit with the wig out to here, if you remember. It was
Yes.
so iconic. You can look it up online.
Yep.
And she even was a presenter that night. And she says, "Yeah, I got my guide of how to dress like an Oscar presenter," because Cher was trying to give it to the Academy too, because they didn't nominate her for Mask when they should have. But that's a whole other story. But she
Yeah.
came,
Let's go back.
but she came dressed so wild. But that's Cher.
But that's Cher,
That's Cher.
But like you said, she wore Bob Mackie.
Yeah.
There's also Liza Minnelli. When she would often be the muse for Halston at that time. Studio
That's
54.
right. Studio 54.
Studio 54.
Right.
They had everybody from
Lot
Andy
of
Warhol,
influence.
DVF, Diane van Furstenberg, Halston. They would all go there, and they all were friends and would dress one another, dress these celebrities at the time in the 70s. All of this they influence each other. Fashion, music, film, they all influence each other. Also, film, creates iconic moments. So it's a make or break for the celebrity and, the star of a... So
No,
it's all about image at the end of the day.
We would talk, like, go ahead, Al.
Oh no, I was thinking that I can think of a few examples in the 70s of fashion and movies that influenced people or whatever. Saturday Night Fever, Annie Hall, with women wearing
Yep.
more of masculine
dress.
Right. But as far as movies go in the 70s, what other what other movies do you think influenced the look of the way people look back then?
In the
Or would you
70s,
guys say so?
we did talk
Say.
about Saturday Night Fever.
I mean...
Or maybe even the 80s.
I mean, the 80s, you had so many things. I remember when
We had
Top
so
Gun
many
came out,
things.
being that Top Gun's back now with, from the sequel with Maverick, I thought we'd see a resurgence of guys
The
wearing
flight
the flight
jackets.
jackets again. I don't know if that happened.
Yeah.
I don't-
No.
But I remember when the
The
first
glasses,
one,
too.
but when the first movie came out,
Aviator glasses.
right? The aviator glasses. But when the first movie came out, I mean, I remember seeing those leather bomber jackets everywhere with all
Yes.
the patches on.
Yeah.
And people were snatching them up and buying them.
Everybody wanted that look.
Everyone wanted that look.
And even to those glasses, to this day, like they're still in style.
I own
Yeah.
a pair, yeah.
Right, I do too. I have aviators.
I mean, I think 80s fashion and films was a little bit bigger than 70s. I would say we
Different.
have more
It's different,
different.
yeah.
Different.
You know,
And then you have to factor in the 80s hair.
Yes.
and things
yeah,
like that.
but and you just when you're watching movies, like look, Back to the Future, Marty McFly with the orange vest. You can't go more 80s than that.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
But it was 1985.
Yeah. But it all recycles too.
Life
It
you know?
recycles, yeah. And it's
The
funny
life
because how he goes back in time. What are you wearing, a life preserver?
Yeah.
Not knowing that that's going to be fashion down the road.
Exactly. Or if to that point, do you remember when he goes back and he runs into the mother, right? And she doesn't know who it is, and she was calling him Calvin because the underwear.
Calvin
She said, "But
Klein.
your name
Calvin
is on
Klein.
your underwear," but
That's
it was
right.
really about Calvin Klein. That's funny because I used to design for Calvin Klein, the company, and to this day, the underwear is still one of their best-selling
Mark Wahlberg,
products.
those
Mark
posters.
Wahlberg, the poster. I mean, Calvin Klein set the tone with sex appeal. Making people want, with his advertising, making people want to look and feel a certain
Brooke
way.
Shields was
Brooke Shields?
was the
Nothing
Yes.
gets between me
Yeah,
and my
right.
Calvin.
Yeah.
I'm saying, she really,
sexual
she was
when you
one of
were-
those models that turned
Back in the day.
actresses that turned Calvin Klein's name into a whole,
It's a little
to a whole
creepy.
other.
Guess
Exactly.
Jeans, Claudia Schiffer. Then
Claudia
you had
Schiffer.
Anna Nicole Smith.
Anna Nicole Smith. That's
Oh,
right.
Anna
with
Nicole
Guess.
Smith.
Right,
yeah.
with Guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
We could talk about Pamela Anderson in the red bathing suit on Baywatch. You
That's
know,
right,
these are
fashion.
like iconic fashion moments, but they also think about it. It's the person's image too. You know, you
Right.
can't think about Pamela Anderson and not think about the red bathing suit.
right. Like rock and roll too. Like Lenny
Yeah.
Kravitz has like his
Think of
own
it.
style. He's
He
like
does.
a style icon because he'll just wear everything. He'll wear like feather boas and stuff like
Right.
that. And staying on this topic of rock and roll, Prince had his own
Prince.
designers.
Yes.
He was known for his purple.
He had to.
Yes.
He had these jackets. And,
Oh.
You know, the video Kiss, that outfit, everybody knows, you know,
Yeah.
it's iconic.
It's iconic.
That's funny how you're talking about Prince and jackets, and it just hit in my head too. We're talking 80s. Michael Jackson, when Thriller came out,
Yes.
and especially Billie Jean, when you saw him wear that red jacket with that,
Yes.
that so many companies were producing that jacket that kids were wearing.
It was Beat It, not...
Beat It, excuse me.
Beat
right.
It.
You know what I
Beat It.
right, Beat It. I'm
Beat It.
sorry.
Well, Thriller, too.
But I'm saying, but
And
no, but I'm
Thriller.
saying that jacket too, because they even in Beverly Hills Cop, when Axel Foley is walking down the streets of Beverly Hills and the two guys are passing
Yeah.
dressed like Michael Jackson, he just stops and laughs. But it's the truth.
The
because-
wedding
It's so
singer.
true.
Right, because
Yes.
these people were taking
Because it's
No,
a
yeah.
trend.
right,
Then it
and
becomes
and
a
you
trend.
couldn't get bigger than Michael Jackson, 1983
Exactly.
or 82.
Yeah.
You know, at that time.
And
frame.
Madonna too. I mean, you know, she's iconic for her fashion sense. She constantly evolves her fashion. Every new album, she had a new look, a new image that she was putting out. It was
She
like
was
the
Just
mood.
the look. I
herself.
remember going to school
Right?
and the girls
The
would wear all
bracelets.
the bracelets.
The
All the girls that went to
bracelets.
school
The
had the
mesh.
bracelets up the hair,
The
bows
yes.
in the hair.
Yes.
That was all.
The
that
big
all,
hair,
yeah,
hairspray.
all-
Iconic.
that
All her.
So Madonna was she was one of those fashion icons.
She,
And-
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I mean, I
I
think
guess
a lot
David
of it.
Bowie too.
David
before her.
Bowie, of course.
Before her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The whole Ziggy, to create a
And I
character.
guess
Star
Jerry
Child.
was too.
Yeah.
To create a
Ziggy
character.
Stardust.
Stardust.
Created
The white dude.
That's
Yeah.
what I call an alter ego, which I've been talking a lot about too, because that's like your one way, right? Like Beyonce is Beyonce, but then when she's ready to perform, she's Sasha Fierce. And that's her alter ego, just like David Bowie had the alter ego, because they know it's going to activate another like feeling, personality of them, who they are, but it's a different kind of version of themselves that they bring out, and they can be different, you know, express themselves differently and maybe dress obviously differently. So it's interesting, you know, because that also is image.
Right. I mean, you also talk about, saying Beyonce, but I'm also thinking about Rihanna.
Yes.
I mean, she has fashion. She has makeup, a makeup line. I
Yes.
mean, it's amazing. I mean, she's more known now. The Gen Z girls or
Right.
kids or whatever, they know her more now for the makeup.
For her makeup and her clothing.
Right.
Yes.
Than the actual singer. They're like, oh, she's a singer?
Because guess why? Now more than any, and this is why I do what I do, because you don't have to be a celebrity to create your own brand. Everybody has a personal brand. But these celebrities are taking their celebrityism to another level by creating a brand that's under the umbrella of what they do. They're using their fame to become an influencer, and now they get to create makeup, clothing, perfume. Everything falls under this umbrella, and they don't have to rely on one source of income either now.
And even non-celebrities, because
Even
of social
non-celebrities,
media,
of course.
they're on Instagram,
Yes.
they're on TikTok, and they just market themselves.
Yes.
And they, like you say, they partner with brands, especially after they become big influencers.
Yes,
And then they sometimes bring out, I guess, their own product,
they do.
you know, from that as well. As we're talking about this, is there any place that people can find you, whether it's Instagram or what have you? Can you tell the people, like,
Yes.
where to find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Styled Sharp, StyledSharp.com. That's my website too, styledsharp.com.
That's awesome. Tavia was featured on Fox 5 News in New York soon after the recording of this podcast. Let's go to the video.
Just looking at the two main characters in that clip and looking at the way they present themselves, it is not in your face the way they dress. It's very classic, timeless.
Personal stylist and image consultant Tavia Sharp prides herself on when looking to build that right look for one of her clients.
There's that timeless look, you know, the subtle. With the popularity of the show, people naturally want to embody that look, especially because it's in New York City. It's about, I don't have to be obvious to know that, you know, we are rich. And you're like, hey, how do I capture that? And how do I put my style on it? How do you actually relate to the people that you're working with? How do you show up just putting in that little extra effort without going overboard? Because you still want to be relatable to those around you.
Cool.
Yeah. Where do you see the future of this? How it's on the next level of where are we going to continue to see this trend, or what's the next big thing of this whole of one celebrity or celebrities having a hold on this and then going to you know where I'm getting at?
Yeah. Well, I think it's only going to continue, and also now it's going to be the metaverse, which we've already seen some of that. You know, the metaverse is virtual reality type world, right, where things don't even have to be in physical form for some of these celebrities to have influence, or influencers in general can create things in another kind of reality, and they're able to have influence there too. And I think it's just going to get bigger.
So like also like I know like there's certain websites like for glasses example, you don't even have to go to a store to try on the glasses.
Yeah.
It'll take an image of your face. And you could see how you look with glasses. I'm sure with clothes it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And like now you have like AI.
Yes.
So I'm sure fashion is going to change. Oh, like stand in front of your camera.
Yes.
Use this app to see how you would look in this
that
outfit.
That does actually
right?
exist, and I think it is going to get more popular with a lot of brands, because even when I'm helping clients find things online, it's still not where it needs to be with sizing. It's hard sometimes to order things and then you have to try it on in physical form. But these things are going to be more popular. It's just easier. People don't have to go to a store, and they're going to have to, stores and brands are going to have to create more experiences, which we already see here in New York City. These brands creating more experiences for people to actually come, enjoy the products, not just come to a store and buy things anymore. Experience. We want an experience.
Like sometimes they'll hire a DJ in the store
all the time
to mix and draw a crowd in.
Yes, draw the crowd in. What's going to give them
what's going on here? Or they'll have a celebrity come in.
Yeah, exactly.
That seems like that's kind of a dated trend, having to see, like when you used to go, that seems like, I saw that in the tail end of the 90s and the early 2000s maybe, in Soho or something like that, or some in the Village somewhere where you're, everywhere from like higher end shop or whatever to Urban Outfitters or something like that.
Abercrombie and Finch.
Yeah, I mean, they have to create different experiences beyond that.
That's
like now you see a lot of, especially because I live in New York City, so you see it everywhere, but there's pop-ups everywhere. Pop-up shops, pop-up trucks, where people can come, play with the product, experience it. They want to take photos. They want to share on social media, and they're inviting you to come and experience and share because it helps the brand. And they invite influencers in, give them free stuff so they can share. So it's becoming a whole thing. I don't see that going away. I think that's going to be more and more popular. And also, yes, to your point, you're going to be able to do a lot more online than there is now. I mean, I know Amazon and there's some other apps where they like pick out outfits for you, things like that. I think that's going to become more of a trend.
Based on your preferences. Like it's marketing, and they take your marketing material and they use that to gather of like I was mentioning, like I needed a new wallet.
Yeah.
And all I saw on all my social media was wallets, the Ridge wallet, this wallet, that wallet.
Because you had your phone open and they heard it.
Yes.
It is taking all that information in.
Yeah.
And
which is a little scary.
it's sending
Well, you
sending
have
you
the choice
stuff.
to turn it
Yeah,
off.
exactly. Because it wants to
Well-
target you. And I hear from clients all the time that they fall for that too, because they're on Instagram or one of these sites and they're getting that too. And they're like, what do you think of this brand? What do you think? I'm like, well, those people are shooting advertisements at you. So, I mean, it's okay to try that out if it appeals to you, but that they want you to buy. That's what they're paying for. So, just be careful and like think about, to me, it's always more important to buy things that last longer, that stand the test of time, and that can be versatile for your wardrobe, so you don't have to buy, keep buying new things every season. And
classic, like
more
a
classic,
polo shirt,
yeah,
things like that.
Trendy things. Trendy's okay.
Like a men, for instance, ideal thing. Every male should have in his wardrobe is a basic navy blazer.
Yeah,
that's a timeless piece. It's always necessary.
Yeah,
but
not every male needs that. Let's be honest.
No, but it's something that if you have a function to go on of any kind, you throw it right on.
Yeah, but I'm saying nowadays with the dress down culture, I mean, this is really a whole other topic, but dress down culture is real.
It's big.
People after the pandemic don't want to get dressed up again. And so I get this question all the time. Well, what do I wear? Because I want to look put together. I want to look like I put in an effort.
Well, they need to dress up again.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that, but sometimes you just need to find more things that fit your lifestyle, your personality. Like, could you wear a better quality t-shirt? Could you wear a better quality pair of jeans, that fit you really well versus just dressing up to dress up? Maybe that's not your look.
I want to bring this out. Like, I don't know I think this might have been on Shark Tank too, and I've seen these ads everywhere as well. Now they have this new kind of polo shirt that has a collar that's like a dress shirt. Like it's a stiff collar. So like if you, like in the fall and winter, you want to wear a sweater, your boss thinks you're wearing a dress shirt under there, when it's really a polo shirt.
Right.
It's very comfortable, and you won't sweat in it, and it'll wick your sweat and all this and that.
Right.
But things like that, that's like an innovative product. It's a different product. It's a spin on a classic product that is going to become like a new class. Because like at a corporate job, it is very true that the culture has completely shifted.
Yes.
I mean, it used to be a suit 5 days a week, every day, suit and tie, no questions asked.
Yep.
It was accepted. Those were the rules.
Yep.
Now the rules are completely different.
But it's not like that in finance anymore. It's not like that in
no
big business.
Only the top guys will wear a suit.
Yeah, like
and they don't even wear a tie.
If you take a walk down, down in Midtown, down in 6th Avenue, where a lot of these banking companies are, you'll see each guy dressing exactly the same.
Yes.
They got the jacket, no tie.
Yeah.
And a pair of like
or the vest
and it's a white shirt or a blue shirt. It's like a uniform now.
It is like a uniform.
Ties are coming back. Granted, there have been articles recently about the ties coming back and all that, and so fashion in a lot of the high end stuff is wear a tie and a suit. It's coming back. So people were tired of 3 years wearing pajamas, and enough is enough. Yeah, and the thing is too, when you dress, as you know, because you dressed it all the time to your. When you dress up, you feel important. You feel like you're getting something.
Different.
You feel different. You're getting something accomplished.
You feel professional.
I always say your clothing, and there is a such thing as this. It's called enclothed cognition. You can look it up. It literally, there have been studies and studies on this, because what we wear impacts how we feel. If you dress a certain way, you're going to feel more comfortable, or you dress a certain way that empowers you, and it's going to affect your mood and your mindset and your productivity. And it is called enclosed cognition. So, it just depends on how you want to feel every day or where you're headed. You have to decide what's your intention, how do you want to feel, empower yourself with clothing.
I'm just going to quote Saturday Night Live and go back to Fernando's Hideaway, where he said,
"Better to look good than to feel good night, my friends, and you look mouth."
I remember that.
All right, so we're talking about all these influences and stuff. Is it true, like the famous Met Gala every year? Are these, well, we're calling them influencers? Are they really shelling out $50,000 or more just to show up, just to attend the thing?
Yes. Yes, people pay $50,000 to walk this red carpet and to go to the gala. But it really is a make or break moment. These looks that they're showing up and partnering with designers. They partner with a specific designer to create the look. It is a whole thing. They plan a year ahead or more, and it is something that they use for their influence.
And it depends on the theme. Like I know this year's theme was a tribute to Karl Lagerfeld.
It was.
So that's why you saw actors like Jared Leto and.
I thought Jared Leto was trolling.
Right.
I mean, when you
dress up as a
when
like
you
a
show up
cat,
as a cat, it's like
He was being
but that's Lagerfeld's
Karl
it's
Lagerfeld's
almost like-
cat.
But that's called Karl Lagerfeld's cat. That was
Yeah.
that was his.
Let's
look.
think about this for a
because
second.
he's supposed to be a practical joker anyway.
But Adam, let's think about this for 1 second.
and he can afford to.
It's at the Met. Fashion is not just fashion, especially at this event, the Met. It's a museum.
Yes.
It's art.
It's
so
wearable
fashion
art.
as art.
Wearable art.
right?
Wearable
so
art.
that's why there are these outrageous outfits
Yes.
and things like that. Because it's just also representing art. Fashion as art.
Well, it is art. I mean, I've studied fashion pretty much my whole life. I went to school for fashion, and especially the designers that we've known that have been standing the test of time, that still their looks are so iconic. They are artisans. Some of their designs are handcrafted by hand. So maybe now we think fashion, is a little dressed down, and there's obviously mass production. It's a little different. We have fast fashion now. We have the Zaras of the world, but fashion really for certain types of designs, it is wearable art. It is.
And we're talking about fashion, and I'm just thinking for a second, athleisure wear, like LeBron James, on all these like expensive Nike sweatsuits and stuff. All the kids love this stuff. They're getting their parents, or they're just buying these things. Even my daughter's like, my friends are wearing all this Nike stuff, and it's like $300 just for a pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt.
Oh, that's how much it was when we were kids.
It's just
we like Champion. Do you remember? We wore Champion.
The Champion sweatshirt.
Yes, I did.
And you wanted every color.
I wanted
still wear
Champion.
Champion.
I wore United Colors of Benetton, Esprit. It's the same thing. You see how trends recycle themselves, and maybe it's a different brand, to your point, but they all come back around. 80s fashion is back in. You see people wearing 70s, 90s. It constantly recycles itself.
Yeah,
Well, all I know is that I wish fashion could be a little bit more fashionable. I mean, it's like now this athletic wear thing is like seems so. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not digging
that's
it.
because of Lululemon. It became very popular.
I'm not digging it. I think it's like a lazy way to dress all the time.
Yeah.
Like you go out on the weekends. Not that I'm like the bastion of fashion, and I'm not like that, whatever. But it's like I don't like walking around in sweatpants all the time. I don't like wearing
pajamas
and tracksuits.
I see pajamas.
No, but
The pajamas. They're not. What are you supposed to be called? What are they called?
The pajamas.
I see pajamas. I see the pajamas.
What do they call them? The pajama bottoms that the kids wear.
Leisure pants.
The leisure pants. They're
athleisure.
pajamas.
They are.
They're pajamas.
I know. Wait.
You are wearing
pajamas. Get those freaking pajamas off and put a nice pair of dress slacks. No, they don't think too.
No, well, kids not going to wear dress slacks. Put on pair of nice pair of
jeans.
But when we were that age, and not even that, going to a Broadway show.
Yeah.
People
would dress up.
Dress up or going to a nice
I know.
holiday.
Can you imagine, like
These
two
people
kids
come
on
in
a
dressing
date,
like
a cute
slobs.
date.
I know.
So kids in the in the late teens or 20s on a date and stuff like that. And you're going out in sweatpants.
They do.
Or tracksuits. And that's
I
like
know.
that's not.
Just put in effort. It's not just for the other person, but it's really for yourself.
Yeah, don't have
goes
your
back
pants down to your knees either. All right, that's
yeah,
another
like
story.
it does make a difference.
Even khakis. I like khakis. I like wearing khakis.
Well, it always comes down to this.
And
This is what I always tell my clients. It is about how you want to feel, okay? How you want to express yourself. Because guess what? You are your own person, and personal style is personal. Let it be your own self-expression. Be different. Be unique. Stand out. There are so many different things you can experiment and play with in the style sense. So have fun with it. Be different and try new things. Colors, prints, silhouettes. Have fun with it.
I'm going to sound old-fashioned here. I like, especially for girls, young women. I wish skirts would come back in dresses.
Me too. I miss that too.
I mean, like, just it's just more classy to me.
Yeah. I think it will. I think we're starting to get back into dressing differently.
I'm not expecting like you have to go like as the 20s or the 30s or whatever, a top hat and
I honestly,
I wouldn't mind that.
a fedora.
But I bet you
nice.
if you we're talking about all these musicians and artists and actors, but I guarantee if they showed up at red carpets dressing up and not looking like they just got out of bed,
right?
you would see absolutely a change in.
They won't get cast. Oh, you look like a slob on the red carpet.
Yeah.
We're not
Right.
going to cast you.
Yeah.
No.
You're done.
Yeah, I mean, I
You don't look like a movie star.
Yeah, no, I do write, for the U.S. Sun. I do some articles with them around celebrity fashion, and we talk about this all the time. It can make or break, and it's still important to put in effort, especially for people who are in the public eye. It is important, and it's a part of your image. And so you want to be up to date, and you also want to be influential, because those influential people, they're famous for whatever they're famous for, but they can also, create new partnerships, collaborations, and they can make money in other ways if they actually have a strong image and personal brand, which fashion is a piece of.
I just want to bring something up that you mentioned before. Tina Turner. Mm-hmm. She influenced fashion herself. I mean, not very long ago, she passed away. Mm-hmm. But if you look back in the 60s, she had these dresses. They were very short and they shimmied. I forget what they were called.
Mm-hmm.
A shimmy dress. But she set the trend where if like when you think of that, you're gonna shake your and it's gonna
and she did.
And she did, and she shook it like nobody shook it.
Yeah.
And it's showing off showcasing those legs on the run. And then when she had her second coming, basically her second in the early '80s,
her evolution
of her right her. We're bringing the jean jacket and the short mini skirt and then the big pumps,
stilettos,
and all that. She started a whole
and
nother
her
fashion.
legs.
She did.
Man,
Her
that
legs.
video, everybody talked about these legs.
Right, and the legs.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whose legs are these?
Yes.
And then you see Tina
You
Turner,
saw Tina
and you see the hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her wig, the whole thing. It's iconic. And
Image.
Those legs were
it's her
insured by
image.
Lloyd's of London.
I'm sure her legs were insured, and that was a
very
part of her brand. Her style and her fashion and her look, her image was a part of her branding, and that's why she continued to put that, out there. She's always going to have that look, iconic look, just like a lot of musicians.
Who do you see someone today that you could look in like 50 years from now that's new today that you think is going to be big years later that they're going to talk about?
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, because I don't know if there's anyone that's really created that strong, iconic look like we've known. I mean, maybe in the future you'll look back, but
You feel like there's no more originality anymore?
yeah, not so much anymore. It's hard to find originals. There's a lot of copies out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're so big on the
that goes
brand
for a lot of things in
partnerships now.
society now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So they'll do it to partner with the brand, because that's where they get paid. So it's like a paid sponsorship type thing. So you're going to see a lot more of that now than ever. So I think there's not a lot of originals anymore.
Like someone saying
Unfortunately.
that, that person's already going to, that person's known for always wearing that. And it's like, I think we got to experience that growing up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think this is like something significant about that person. Like we were talking about like men's formal wear. And go back to was things. I mean, that wasn't too many growing. The only one I can remember growing up was, and it was a mistake because I think he forgot his bow tie, was John Voight.
Oh.
And then John Voight was known to always having the shawl around. Remember?
Or a scarf.
A scarf.
A scarf.
Yeah, right. And just wrapped around, and that became his thing.
Yeah.
So every year now, and then it just started like that. That's the John Voight look. I just having the scarf wrapped around. It's just people like that. And then Stallone, the year he was up in the, we're talking going back to the 70s, when he was up for Best Actor for Rocky, I think also he forgot his bow tie or broke or something happened. So when you watch videos of him and he actually comes out with Muhammad Ali and he has the pointed tuxedo shirt collar out, he started a trend too, Stallone, believe it or not, because people thought, oh, that's how Stallone dressed for the Oscars. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
But sometimes a mistake can lead to a whole big trend.
Yeah, exactly. But now a lot of times you will see celebrities that are up and coming. They want to make their mark, and so they will hire. I know a lot of celebrity stylists that I follow that really help these famous celebrities become more famous. They give them a look.
Fashion even has influenced reality television. There's some
Absolutely.
TV shows that
Absolutely.
there are fashion people people that work in the fashion industry, and they followed them around in a reality
Wasn't it
show.
from Fashion? Was it for that show Fashion Runway?
Yeah.
Not only Fashion
You
Runway.
mean Project Runway?
Project Runway.
But there's a lot
yeah.
of those type of shows. But I think you're talking about like a lot of even like Netflix shows.
That's right,
Reality
yeah.
shows. I mean, Selling Sunset is something I watch, where it's like high-end real estate. You know, these women who work for a big real estate
even the
company.
Housewives, the clothes that
Housewives,
they wear, right?
and they have spin-offs and have their own.
Even Jersey Shore, they were like
brands.
wearing all kinds of sneakers
Yes.
and clothing. And
Yeah. Yep. Bethany
You know.
Frankel, you know, she came out with a couple things, and even her, you know, Skinny Girl line, you know, and she does clothing as a part of that. It's not just the liquor; it is also clothing. But a lot of them do now because their show can help build their influence. Yep.
Promote their brand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know about the Bethany Frankel as a liquor brand.
Yeah, well, no, she's
Skinny Girl.
Skinny Girl, but she sold
Oh,
it.
Skinny- oh,
but
that's
she
her.
Yeah,
sold,
but it's what she created it.
She created it, but then she sold it. But she made her money
she
off of
made
that
a
big
lot of
time.
money,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Good for her.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, everybody, I think we've run out of time. So we'd like to thank our special guest, Tavia.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
also, just remember to click the like button, subscribe button, and click that notification bell. And we thank you for watching. Continue to keep watching our episodes. And take care.
All right, bye. See you next time.